Hi guys, Fragnito here, back again with another video from People's Capital Group. We're going to talk about the buy, renovate, refinance, repeat strategy today. It's how I got from 0 to 100 units in about 3 to 5 years, and it's a great way to take a certain amount of cash, recycle it to build a portfolio of real estate. So how is this done? The first thing you need to do is find a discounted piece of real estate for sale. Inner city areas, it's a lot easier to find this. You need to find a property for about 65% of after repair value, okay? After repair value, ARV. So you need to find a property for 65% of after repair value minus repairs. Okay, so if I have a property that I know once I buy it and renovate it and lease it out, it's going to appraise at, let's say for numbers sake, $100,000, okay? So my ARV, my after repair value, is equal to 100K in this scenario. In New Jersey, these numbers aren't realistic, but let's go with these numbers to keep it simple. That means I need to buy this property for 65% of $100,000 minus the repair costs. Let's say I go through the property with my contractor and we determine the repair estimate is $20,000, okay? So repairs, 20K, okay? So I'm going to sell it for 100. It's going to refinance for 100 when I'm finished. That's the ARV. It's going to take $20,000 in repairs to get there. So I know I need to buy it at 65% of 100K minus the 20. Okay? 65% of 100 minus 20 is 45. So I need to buy this at 45K. That's a good formula. You can also do 70%, okay? If you're in a more competitive market, you're gonna wanna do 70%. Otherwise, it's gonna be really hard to find that 65%. If you're more inner city where there tends to be more risk, it is better to go with the 65%, of course. At the end of the day, you wanna pay even less than that for your properties, but of course, that's the rule of thumb for how much the max you wanna pay for it. So if you could find a discounted property, for example, at sheriff sale auction or through direct mail to out-of-state owners, and you can lock this property up for 65% of after repair value minus repairs, the next step is you need to renovate the property and get it leased up for top dollar, okay? So obviously you want to execute your repairs at that time. You want to lease the property, okay, for top dollar. You're going to get top dollar by making the units nice and fresh. That doesn't mean you have to spend every dollar to make the units the best in the world. They just have to be equal to the quality of competitive units in the market for that price you're looking to get. If you have tenants that aren't paying rent, you need to file evictions. If you have tenants that are just causing problems in the building, you'll need to evict them as well. If you have tenants that are way below market value and it's illegal to increase their rent due to rent control, you'll need to offer something called cash for keys. Of course, study the rent control laws in your area so you know you're not breaking them. But the goal is to find a building for 65% of ARV minus repairs, renovate the building after purchase, lease up the building, okay? Try to stay within your repair budget, of course, that's the whole goal. And now the building is going to appraise for a lot more than you bought it for, because you bought it, you renovated it, you leased it up, maybe you bought a half vacant with drug dealers in it, the pipes were working, okay? Maybe you bought a decent property, but the rents were just 30% below market value. That's what we look for, lipstick on a pig. So that could be the scenario here. As long as you buy the property for the right price, you keep your repairs low, you're able then to go ahead and refinance your money out, okay? So you've bought the property, you've renovated it, you've leased it out for top dollar, you've figured out ways to get more money from the real estate, such as charging for parking, charging for storage in the basement, putting laundry units in the basement, increasing the rent to the max allowable rent, and of course making the environment nice and family friendly for tenants to move in and feel comfortable and safe there raising their families, which will allow you to get more in rent for the property. So once this is all finished, that's going to take about 6 months to 3 years depending on the building and how much work and how many units you're talking about. But once that's done, you can go ahead and refinance the property. You're going to want to shop around for banks now at this point as well. You're looking for a conventional loan to refinance the property. Remember, you might be buying the property with a hard money loan. When you go to refinance, this is a long-term loan. You're going to want a low interest rate. Interest rates are historically very low right now. That's why this strategy works even better today than it has in the past. So as long as you can find a discounted property, right? Now we're gonna go and refinance. So we bought it cheap, 65% of ARV minus repairs. We renovated, we're leased up, and now we go to refinance. The bank's gonna give us about 70 to 75% of the ARV, the after repair value. okay? They're going to give us 70 to 75% of the after repair value. Now that our property is fully leased and fully renovated, that's going to allow us to pull out our initial cash investment, okay? Which was 65% of ARV, okay, minus the repairs, okay? So our initial cash investment was $45,000 to buy the property, $20,000 to renovate the property. So our initial investment on this was $65K, okay? Now the property, once we're done and renovated, has appraised at $100K, all right? We're gonna pull out 75% of that, so that's gonna give you $75,000. 75% of $100,000, which is the after repair value, would give you $75,000. Now you're gonna have refinance costs, all right? And you're also gonna have unknowns when you're renovating and repositioning the property. So you wanna recognize that. So you might be thinking you're pulling out 75, but it's really gonna be more like 70,000 after refinance costs. But fine, let's say you walk away from the refinance table with $70,000. Well, guess what? You're into the property for $65,000, so you just pocketed $5,000. Now in reality, that $5,000 would get soaked up somewhere in the deal most likely, but that's called a cash out refi. You're able to pull out all your initial cash investment. This is a huge strategy that has allowed countless real estate investors to recycle cash year over year and build their portfolio, okay? So you can take an initial amount of cash, like $65,000, hell, you could even leverage this, okay? Put down 20%, get a hard money loan for the rest, renovate it, refinance, repeat, okay? So you can leverage that initial purchase with a hard money loan, and you can refinance to pull out that hard money loan and replace it with a long-term conventional low interest loan, which is the strategy with the refinance, okay? So now you've renovated the property, it's fully leased up, you pulled out your initial investment of cash, you got back your entire initial investment of $65,000 at the refinance table, and now you can go repeat that process, go ahead, do it again, get another building, renovate it, lease it up for top dollar, go to a local bank, refinance. You want to work with credit unions to refinance. You want to work with local banks. We work with Connect One. We work with Financial Resources Federal Credit Union. If you want introductions to these banks, contact us today. You want to have good relationships with your banks. You want to be able to refinance quickly and effectively and lock in that low interest rate. Take advantage of low interest rates. Take advantage of cheap real estate that you can buy today, renovate, refinance, repeat. And this is a proven method that works for many, many investors. If you're not doing this to build your portfolio, then you're extending too much cash really, and you'll eventually run out of cash. By doing this strategy, you get that cash back, and you can go ahead and keep building your portfolio year after year. So guys, for more tips about how to buy, renovate, refinance, or how to just do real estate investments in general, or how to get invested in our next real estate acquisition, we buy apartment buildings. We offer passive returns to investors. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to manage the property. They don't have to personally guarantee the mortgage. We do all that. We deliver a nice cash flow check every quarter, passive tax write-offs, and of course, big lump sums upon the refinance. So if you want to learn more about how you can become a passive investor or just how we do our business in general, go to peoplescapitalgroup.com and hit that subscribe button because we come up with a new video every Friday at 8 a.m. I'm Fragnito. Check out peoplescapitalgroup.com.